Have you ever witnessed a small act of kindness so powerful, it ripples through an entire community, changing lives in ways no one expected? This is the story of one humble farmer, a brave little girl, and the extraordinary chain of events that followed when kindness met unexpected obstacles. It all begins in a quiet rural village, where life moves slowly, shaped by the land and the seasons. The sun was just rising over endless fields of golden wheat, the air thick with the fresh, earthy scent of morning dew. Birds sang softly, and a gentle breeze whispered through the trees. Here lived Arjun, a middle-aged farmer known for his strong hands and generous heart. Arjun's world was simple but challenging. Every day he woke before dawn to tend his crops, dreaming only of a better life for his daughter Meera. Meera was 8 years old, bright-eyed and full of curiosity, but unlike other children, she was bound to a wheelchair, a consequence of polio she had survived as a baby. The small house where they lived had a steep front step, making it nearly impossible for Meera to leave the house without help. For years, Arjun watched his daughter's eager eyes gaze longingly at the open world beyond their front door. He saw how she wanted to run, to play, to explore like the other children, but the barriers of their home and the village's rough roads kept her confined. One morning, after Meera had asked for the 100th time if she could see the fields, from the porch, Arjun made a decision that would change everything. With worn hands and fierce determination, he gathered old wood, nails, and tools, and began building a simple wooden ramp, sturdy enough for Meera's wheelchair to climb. Neighbors peeked curiously as he worked, some offering a smile, others shaking their heads at the waste of time. But Arjun paid no mind. To him, this ramp was a gateway, a promise of freedom for his daughter. As he hammered the final plank into place, Meera's face lit up like the sun itself. "Papa, now I can go outside," she whispered, her voice trembling with hope. The next morning, the village awoke to a surprise. Meera rolled down the ramp for the first time, giggling as the wheels clattered on the wooden planks. Her mother wiped tears from her eyes, and neighbors gathered, cheering softly. For a brief moment, the village celebrated a simple victory, a father's love made real. But then something no one expected happened. Before noon, a convoy of military trucks rumbled into the village, blocking the main road with soldiers standing firm, their faces unreadable beneath helmets. The local farmers and villagers watched in confusion and fear. Arjun's heart sank as an officer approached his small home. "This ramp is an unauthorized structure," the officer declared coldly. "It violates safety regulations. You must remove it immediately." Arjun was stunned. "But this ramp is for my daughter. She cannot leave the house without it," he pleaded. "Please understand, she needs this." The officer shook his head. "Orders are orders, this must be removed." Can you imagine how Arjun felt? The joy of giving his daughter freedom crushed under the weight of cold bureaucracy. The villagers' faces were grim, their whispers filled with worry. But in that moment, kindness refused to be silenced. The news of the army blocking the road and demanding the ramp's removal spread quickly. Soon, a teacher from the village school named Annika arrived, holding Meera's hand. "This is not just about a ramp," she said firmly. "It's about dignity, about inclusion, about the right to live freely." Annika spoke to the soldiers, explaining Meera's story, the father's love, and the hope the ramp represented for many children with disabilities in the region. She shared photos, letters from other families, and even contacted a local charity dedicated to disability rights. Moved by the teacher's words and the villagers' growing support, a senior officer arrived to reassess the situation. After hours of tense discussion, something remarkable happened. The army commander announced that instead of removing the ramp, they would help improve it, making it safer, stronger, and officially approved. They promised to build similar ramps throughout the village and neighboring areas, ensuring children like Meera could access schools, markets, and parks. Arjun was speechless. The very people who had blocked his path now stood with him, united by a shared commitment to kindness and inclusion. Weeks later, the village transformed. The sound of children's laughter filled the air as ramps and accessible paths appeared everywhere. Meera, once confined to her home, now rolled freely, her spirit soaring. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Arjun sat on the porch, watching Meera chase fireflies with other children. The warm glow of hope surrounded them. "Kindness," he said softly, "can break walls no army can build." If this story touched your heart, imagine the power your own kindness can have. What small act could you take today that might change someone's life forever? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Let's keep this ripple of hope growing. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch our next story. Because sometimes, the greatest miracles happen when kindness meets courage. This is not just a story. It's a reminder that every act of kindness, no matter how small, can spark change. Together, we can build ramps where walls once stood,